Hello everyone, and welcome to another review. Today, back into the swing of things, getting back into reviewing after a couple of videos off to do some other ones, and I have for you a fragrance from the House of Bond number 9. The fragrance none other than Brooklyn right here. Here's the design. The design is kind of situated around almost a graffiti type of design. It says Brooklyn, Bond number 9. Cap pops off. The cap says Brooklyn at the top of it. Brooklyn are all around it. The sprayer, it's a Bond number 9 sprayer, so it's okay. It's actually not that good, but whatever, it kind of gets the job done. So the box looks very similar, just says Brooklyn all over it, Bond number 9, NYC. This is actually the 50 milliliter of it. So the 50 milliliter you can expect to pay about $175 for, and the 100 milliliter expect to pay about $240, might be $220-ish dollars. Now, I was going to link some other sites down below to purchase this, and I still will. But the one thing that I probably should mention regarding this fragrance is I believe Bond number 9 was making a push to get it off of some of the discount sites, so I won't link the discount sites for this fragrance. I'll probably link Saks Fifth Avenue and Bond number 9, the store, and some couple others. So just keep that out there. Now, this fragrance was released in the year 2009, March of 2009. It, again, is modeled after the neighborhood of Brooklyn, so it's supposed to be kind of like a vibrant and innovative type of a fragrance. Whether or not it accomplishes that, I'll kind of get into that in a little bit later. It was created by the president and CEO of Bond number 9, Laurice Ram, I believe is how you pronounce her name. And that's about it. Let's dive into the notes. The top notes of this actually consist of our grapefruit and cardamom. The mid notes are geranium leaves, juniper berries, and cypress. And the base notes we have guaiac wood, cedar wood, and leather. Now, I can tell you right off of the bat that this fragrance is very unique in the fact that all of those notes that I listed there, you can smell them. Every single note that is listed in there, you can actually pick out and smell. Very unique for a fragrance. If you know what guaiac wood smells like, you're probably going to pick that up. If you know what cedar wood smells like, you're going to pick that up. Juniper berry, down the line, you can pick it up, you can smell it. Personally, what I get out of it, I get a lot of geranium, I get a lot of juniper berries coming up right off the top. The leather is kind of right in the mix of it, and the other big thing that I really get out of this fragrance is a blast of cardamom, a blast of spice almost that kind of comes into the fragrance as well. So again, the leather's around in it and the woods are kind of around in it, so I can smell every single note that is in this fragrance, and most people actually can. But that comes with kind of a little bit of a double-edged sword on the flip side. If any of those notes you don't like in a fragrance, then you're probably not going to like this fragrance, and it's probably going to turn you off. This fragrance is a very chameleon type fragrance. Depending on who you ask, they're going to get a very different note breakdown or a very different note take on what they actually smell out of it. So yes, I'll touch upon that a little bit later as well. Sprays, I recommend about 3 to 5 sprays for this. If you get a little bit too heavy on the heavier side, people who don't like spices might be a little bit offended by it, but it generally isn't a projection monster, so it won't really go out of that. Occasions, I would classify this as a casual fragrance. Wearing for casual fragrances, even for work, it might do well as well. For the season, I definitely recommend spring or the summer for this fragrance to wear this one out in. You could probably pull this one off just as well in the fall and possibly in the winter, but in the winter it might not be as pronounced just because usually winter requires a little bit of a stronger fragrance to cut through that cold air. So it might not do as well in there, but definitely the spring and the summer for this fragrance. As far as projection and sillage goes, I kind of touched upon it earlier. Projection, it really isn't so great from this fragrance. It doesn't really jump out. I mean, initially when you spray it, you get those spices and it comes out at you like that, but that kind of goes away. The strong point of this fragrance is the sillage, which does last a long time, and it does leave a fantastic and an excellent scent trail. As far as longevity goes, expect, for me at least, anywhere between 8 to 12 hours. I definitely get a full day's wearing out of this, and you don't really have to reapply it at all. So on to what other people thought about it.
This one smells like food a little bit. I don't know what kind of food. I like it, but I don't like it. I'd give it a see. C minus. Yeah.
At first, I thought it smelled very good, but I don't know if it's a chemical-y smell or...
I don't know, I smelled cloves or cardamom or something in the beginning, but just very like, I don't know, very fragrant in a kind of earthy kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This one, it's growing on you. It's not bad. This one I like better than...
a little too strong for me.
I think it should be a little...
You're going to smell like a spice mill or something.
It's
but
an expensive thing. You want to smell it, right?
Yeah.
I'd give it at least a B.
I'm going to reverse this and go with the C.
I like that it's not too strong. But again, it's a very particular scent. It's not going to be for everyone. I give it a B+ though.
So as you can see from the comments there, got some comments, it smells like food, like it, but you don't like it, not too strong, particular. Some people said it was strong. Some people said reminded them of food. They got cardamom, an earthy smell, a strong smell. So it's very much chameleon. Depending on who you ask for this fragrance, it'll depend on what they get out of it. Shady, for example, works with cardamom a lot. So cardamom is what he got out of it. Whereas, Orna, when she actually smelled it, she got something different. Same thing goes with Lexi. When she smelled it, she got something completely different as well. When Dan smelled it, he thought he liked it a lot, and then he thought he didn't like it, and then he thought he liked it again. So it's really a fragrance that really plays tricks on you, mainly because your body is going to be able, or your nose is going to be picking out those individual notes out of it. So ratings for it, C-, B+, B, C, those were kind of the ratings for it, and that's kind of the thought, the same ratings that I got from other people besides those four who smelled it on what they actually got out of the fragrance. So it's very much a chameleon, definitely something that you want to try before you go out and buy it. Definitely not a sure hit, and again, if you don't like any of those notes in it, you probably want to steer away from it. So right into the actual breakdown. For scent, I'm going to give this one a C+ for scent. I like the scent. It's something different. That's the main reason why I enjoy wearing it. It's something different. Definitely not your average spring, summer, fresh scent. It's fresh in its own way. It's fresh in a strange, different, almost Brooklyn type of way. I do give it good marks for the fact that I think it does exemplify what Brooklyn is about, and I do give it high marks for that. But again, scent C+. For projection, I'm going to give this one a C- for projection. Projection, I would have thought it could be a little bit better. For projection, it's not going to really come off strong. And again, I've had this projection-wise at least disappear or stop projecting as much as it should around maybe 2-3 hours or so. So beyond that, it's not really going to project too much. For sillage, this is where this fragrance shines. For sillage, I'm going to give it an A-. The sillage, it really does leave an excellent scent trail. As you pass by people, it's gonna linger around and it's gonna leave that effect, and that's where this fragrance really draws its strength from. It's sillage. So again, sillage, solid A-. For uniqueness, I'm gonna give this one an A- as well. You're not gonna find anything else out there that really smells like this at all. At least I haven't come across it so far. Again, all of the notes you can pretty much get out of it. It's a very unique fragrance, and it definitely gets good marks for uniqueness out of there. So uniqueness, it gets an A- as well. For longevity, I'm going to give this one an A+ for longevity. For a fresh scent, the fact that it lasts 10-12 hours to me is a very good sign. It's a very good indicator. It's a very rare thing to have in a scent. A scent of this kind of makeup to last so long for so much. I mean, at the end of the 10-12 hours, you're still smelling the juniper berry, you're still smelling the grapefruit at times coming out in it. You get the rest of the notes too, and in that aspect, it's still kind of linear, but still, you can still get those scents after the 10-12 hours. Now, the actual sillage lasts about, I would say, about 8 to 10-ish hours, and the last 2 hours are more closer to the skin, but it does last that long. So again, great longevity. A+ for longevity. For versatility, I'm going to give this one a C. It's not really versatile, again, casual, and then I could argue that you might not want to wear it to work just because of that spiciness, but at the same time, out of all the people who smelled it, even, you know, excluding those 4, not many people thought it was offensive or anything like that. So for, you know, so I guess for that aspect, you know, work would be fine for it. But for versatility, other than that, I'm going to give it a C. For compliments, here's where it kind of suffers. It's going to get a C-. The reason why it's getting a C-, even though I find it pleasant, even though some people do find it pleasant, the problem is when most people smell it coming off, they don't really understand or realize what they're smelling. Most people don't even realize that it's actually a cologne that they're smelling. Some people thought it was food, or some people thought that it was flowers that were kind of going around. Nobody really thought, hey, I'm smelling a cologne. And for that, the compliment area suffers. In fact, I've gotten like maybe 1 or 2 compliments off of it, but none directly that you would actually think of. It's definitely not a compliment getter. So if that's your aim for it, this fragrance is probably going to disappoint you in that manner. And again, if somebody smells one of those notes that they don't like, they're going to pick up on it immediately, and they're probably not going to like it. So for compliments, it gets a C-. For overall, the overall rating that I'm going to give this scent is a B-. It's a scent that I do enjoy. It's a scent that it's unique, it lasts long, it's a different direction whenever I'm in the summer, or whenever it's the summer, and whenever I want to kind of smell something different rather than your typical citrus type scents or the other scents that I kind of wear during the summer. So it's a very different type scent. Not one of my top 10 though, unfortunately, but it is a nice little turn from it. Now, is it worth the price tag that it goes for? Most people, I can't really be the judge of that. I personally, I personally feel that it is, but I can completely understand if somebody doesn't feel that it's worth its price tag for it. So that's definitely along the lines. And again, if you don't like any of those notes, you're probably not going to, or if you don't like some of those notes, you're probably not going to like this fragrance. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, let me know, leave a comment down below, send me a message, do whatever you have to do. Thank you, have a great 4th of July, and take care of yourselves.